That's fine.
Awesome. Okay, so a couple of things at the beginning. I loved the way that you were working through your leg to prep, but the main thing we worked on today is posture. Looking at my profile, your tendency is to have your spine carried in the front of your body. I'm exaggerating so that you can see. So the tendency is that you're here. You're actually taking the spine and moving it forward to move and to check, and it makes it very difficult because it back weights you. What we need to do, and one of the best exercises that I ever learned from my coach, was if you are settled kind of in this hip, you push down into your leg to pull from the top of your head to your tailbone, your spine, all the way back internally inside of you. So you're literally trying to pull the whole spine back. And I remember asking him, I was like, do you mean like, the core part more? He was like, only the parts between the top of your head and your tailbone. I was like, oh, all of it, got it. So literally pulling all of that back. Now, what that does is it puts the rest of your body, even though your spine is over your heels, the rest of you is over the front of the feet. So now you can use your toes and you can push. So many times we can't push off our feet because we're actually here. So it's very difficult to utilize the ball of the foot. But if your spine is back, then you can use that foot to push and articulate and work. So far, so good? It's especially complicated, I think, or challenging when you're moving forward. So like when you check, to not do this, but to instead feel that, again, the muscles are spreading in your back to keep the spine back. These muscles are holding it back. So it's not that these push it all back. They're just holding like a wall, your body already in the right position. Now, as you do the check forward, it stays. Your tendency on the check is to take too small of a step and you get kind of past it. Instead, I would like for you to extend that leg out. You're on the ball of the foot with the left foot, and then you pop the back heel up to put that front heel down. You're now 50-50 with your weight shift instead of 100 and then 0. So your change of direction can be very fast because you're not really traveling so far. So I think that was critical on the checks and what we were working on. I'm going to talk about the core, but I want to show you some of the other little things that we talked about. You also, prior to your locks, want to do what we kind of were calling the bow and arrow position. You prepare yourself by settling your left hip to move your right one forward so that you already have this side forward. Versus being kind of square on these, you are setting yourself up for success by preparing that bow and arrow position on the end of the one. It may not be something, it's not like it's stopped and you see it, but you're passing through that position. So 8 and 1. Even here, we talked about moving your body closer to the connection to increase, then you can explode her into the check. So if you were doing a lot of them in a row, you would kind of keep it the same. But on that last one, you increase your body into the connection to explode her. You're 50-50, and then you come back. The first triple, I know the beginning we were just doing one lock, but you'll have hello, that action right here, kind of growing. When you did the check, kind of saw this. So I was pulling it back for the 2, 3. Now, the next thing we talked about was on your chassé, your swivel chassé. Your tendency is to kind of step, and we had feet go in a bunch of different directions. I want you to turn that left so that you can create nice footwork and open the door. The other thing that was important is that it shouldn't be this hip out, but rather as you push through the left, your left hip goes up before your right hip settles. Again, on the check, always keeping this back as you check forward. On a scoot chassé, the first step was too small and you were trying to almost close. So scoot chassé, slip chassé, those are synonyms. You put that foot back further. As you lift this hip, That'll scoot this leg underneath. You can do that with a delayed action or with a straight leg action, whichever auger prefers, and then prepare and close for the switch. Your 2-3 was nice. Then keep that back as you go into the 3 chops. So I would love to have someone record us for a second.